This is the moment a sitting council leader risks it all, his job, his reputation, even contempt of court, to blow the whistle on an alleged cover-up tied to migrant crime in Warwickshire. In a political climate where silence is expected and dissent is punished, Warwickshire County Council leader George Finch does something rare. He speaks the truth. What you're about to see is a clip that could land him in hot water with the courts, but he says the public's right to know matters more. Roll the tape. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. We have released our new I'm Not Far Right t-shirts. There are 2 different variants which come in black and blue. You can find them at britishstand.com or check the link in the description. Let's get into today's video. Have a watch.
This is a story that shocked us all. On the 26th of July, Ahmed Malakil was arrested and then charged later on the 27th of July. I was made aware of this incident on Tuesday, July 29th. I will be looking into why I wasn't informed immediately. The following day I contacted the council CEO to inform her that I wished to speak to Warwickshire Police to urge them to release the immigration status of the criminal. The thing is, I was begging for this to be released. Screaming, phoning, asking it to be released. I sent an email, Afternoon, Monica, the CEO of Warwickshire County Council. After hearing the news and reading your email regarding the 12-year-old girl who was raped by an asylum seeker who lives in a HMO in Stockingford in Nuneaton, my hometown, I think transparency is needed, and the people of Nuneaton and the wider Warwickshire area have a right to know who the man is and his background. How can we work with Warwickshire Police to ask them to release the information regarding the details of this man? This is a deep-rooted issue regarding HMOs housing illegal immigrants that are affecting our communities. So I urge you to work with me as Warwickshire County Council leader to ensure Warwickshire Police can release the information to the public in the appropriate manner. I then later phoned the Police and Crime Commissioner for Warwickshire, who informed me that he was on holiday and that he doesn't know much about the case. I was sickened by those comments. Anyone can pick up a phone and speak to me, speak to the CEO, speak to the Chief Constable. And then on Saturday the 2nd of August, I was informed by the CEO of Warwickshire County Council that a second man, Mohammed Kabar, has been arrested and charged with kidnap, strangulation and aiding and abetting the rape of a girl under the age of 13. It was at that point that I wrote a letter to the Home Secretary Yvette Cooper and the Chief Constable of Warwickshire Police Alex Franklin Smith, in which I called for all immediate release of the immigration status of the 2 men. I've urged them to work with me as leader of Warwickshire County Council, and I will be working with all the borough councils and the district councils within Warwickshire to fight against these HMOs that are being put up to house illegal immigrants, and the hotels are in Warwick District Council. And I want to say to all reform councillors and all councillors in the country that this has to stop. Our communities are at a breaking point, and that's why we need reform to change things. We're the last line of defence against the blob, the cover-ups of the councils, and we have to fight every step of the way against this blob, and this is what we're doing on Warwickshire County Council. It has to stop. A 13-year-old girl has been raped by 2 asylum seekers, and I was told that if I released this, I would be in contempt of court, and that I cannot release this due to this phrase, community cohesion. That's the problem. They're trying to cover up the minority, the people that are coming over on boats illegally, and the people of Nuneaton are hurt. They've had enough. And that's why I'm urging all council leaders from all parties to join me in campaigning to stop the housing of illegal immigrants in HMOs with Serco and the illegal immigrants in hotels. That's all I've got to say on this matter today. So thank you, and I'll pass back on to Nigel.
George, thank you very much indeed, and well done for exposing the truth. Threatened, basically threatened, and told the public do not deserve to know the truth. It is absolutely disgraceful. In fact, it has shades of the same mentality at local level that led to Rotherham and the huge shock, not just we as a country, but the international community, who could not believe we'd sunk to those depths. Turning a blind eye.
What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. In other news, Elon Musk's social media platform X has issued a stark warning that Britain's new online safety legislation poses a serious risk to freedom of expression through overly aggressive implementation. The company, owned by Musk, released a statement on Friday asserting that the Online Safety Act's enforcement approach could lead to the suppression of legitimate speech. X argued that whilst the legislation's goals were commendable, the extensive scope of regulatory powers threatened to eclipse these positive aims. The platform said, "When lawmakers approved these measures, they made a conscientious decision to increase censorship in the name of online safety. The government has firmly rejected calls to reverse the legislation, with officials confirming on Monday that no repeal was planned and implementation would proceed swiftly alongside communications regulator Ofcom." Technology Secretary Peter Kyle launched a fierce defense of the act on Tuesday, claiming those seeking its removal were on the side of predators. Public opposition has grown significantly, with an online petition demanding the act's repeal, attracting more than 468,000 signatures. Critics spanning politicians, free speech advocates, and content producers have argued the regulations have been applied excessively, leading to the removal of lawful material. X raised concerns that platforms were given unreasonably short deadlines to implement required safeguards, creating unnecessary pressure on companies. The social media site claimed that even organizations meeting compliance standards continue to face enforcement action and potential financial penalties, which it argued incentivize excessive content removal. X questioned whether British citizens fully understood the compromises being made, asking, "It is fair to ask if UK citizens were equally aware of the trade-off being made." The company suggested this regulatory environment pushed platforms towards precautionary over-censorship rather than measured content moderation. X emphasized that protecting freedom whilst encouraging technological advancement and safeguarding young people required a more measured strategy. The platform added, "It's safe to say that significant changes must take place to achieve these objectives in the UK." Meanwhile, Ofcom has begun exercising its new powers, announcing on Thursday that it had initiated compliance investigations into 4 operators managing a combined total of 34 adult content websites. The Online Safety Act establishes stringent obligations for major platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and X, alongside adult content sites, mandating child protection measures and the removal of unlawful material. In a press conference on Monday, Chair of Reform's Doge Unit Zia Yusuf declared that if Nigel Farage becomes Prime Minister in the next government, the party will repeal the Online Safety Act. The party highlighted 2 sections of the Act, which they claim are an assault on free speech, Section 44 and Section 179. Reform UK MP Sarah Pochin branded the rules censorship through the back door. She told the media, "This act is nothing more than censorship and surveillance through the back door. It's called an Online Safety Act, and most people would think that sounds good and sensible. But the fact is, what's hidden in the small print is nothing short of quashing our democratic right to free speech." As the debate around the Online Safety Act intensifies, tensions between regulation and rights continue to grow. While the government remains steadfast in its defense of the legislation, voices from across the political spectrum, including major tech platforms like 10, warn of a dangerous precedent being set. The crux of the controversy lies not in the intent to protect users, particularly children, but in the breadth and speed of enforcement that critics argue risks stifling legitimate expression. With Ofcom already flexing its new regulatory muscle and opposition parties pledging repeal if elected, the long-term future of the Act could become a defining issue in the broader conversation about freedom, safety, and the digital public square in the UK. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.